Time to do some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah. Hope I get away with it. Oh, da doo-dah day.
This town needs an enema.
Hey everybody, welcome to Stupid O'Clock. That wonderful intro was written by our very own Dan Hollifield.
Hi.
Oh, Rob Brown says he's dancing a jig to the music. So just to let you know, Rob, right there is the composer, performer, producer. What else is there?
Head bottle washer.
There
Yeah.
you go. That's the phrase I was looking for.
And there's Bill and Rich. Welcome to the show, guys.
Howdy.
Oh,
Wow.
Ocio.
John, have you tried the new Papa John Papa Bowls?
No.
They're good.
No. But we
It's
don't have
pizza. It's pizza without the bread.
I love
okay.
whack-a-mole.
what, spaghetti sauce?
Just about.
Um,
And Rob
We do-
says it's
we do
freaking
not have
awesome. We got to talk, Dan.
Everything I've got right now is available on my Bandcamp page. All you got to do is go to Bandcamp, put my name in. You'll get there.
because there was this one time at band camp. Anyway. No, we don't have a Papa John's nearby the house.
Oh, okay.
Closest one's in the middle of Fort Oglethorpe on 2A. I could build a pizza faster than I could deliver it. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
No doubt.
Well, according to their pizza tracker, they ain't even made mine yet.
And you've already had a slice.
Well, ate about half of it.
Oh, well.
Maybe
That's
they'll
showbiz.
deliver a second one.
No, then they'd
Oh.
probably just charge him twice.
So, in the news this week, Jim Cantori got took out by a tree.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Now, Jim
Um,
Cantori is from the Weather Channel, yes?
Yeah.
So he was down there doing the Hurricane Ivan thing, and Ivan threw a tree at him.
Yeah.
Ian. Not Ivan. We don't have Russian hurricanes in this country.
Well,
We will, but not yet.
Carl,
Alright.
it was blowing down the street and Jim couldn't get out of the way. And it knocked him down.
Okay, this is the same guy who stands there in the middle of a hurricane and tells everybody, don't be in the hurricane.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like,
You should be in shelter. You should be someplace that withstand a hurricane. What's he doing? He's standing out here with a 100-mile-an-hour wind blowing his hat
Yeah.
off.
What are you doing here? Get to a Waffle House where it's safe.
Actually, they closed 24 Waffle Houses because of this. That was the Waffle House Index for this.
Oh, it is
They
dangerous then.
They closed Disney World because of
They
it.
did, but strangely enough, all of the Disney World resorts, their hotels that they have around the place, are open as hurricane shelters
Now that's charity.
because
Good deal.
they have their own power, their own water, and their own internet. They got their own satellites. So all these people that live in that area of Florida that still they can't evacuate and they have to keep working, went there.
Hmm.
So you'd walk. There's a picture on a news story I saw. It shows all these guys in the lobby on their laptops, and they looks like us. I mean, they're all in there working by laptop.
Oh, getting hiccups. Sorry about that, guys.
Mm.
Let me see.
I know Fort Myers is not looking quite the same as it was. It's
There's a
pretty
bridge got
bad.
taken out. There's a major bridge got taken out too. In Florida, you take out a bridge, and that pretty much, that whole area is cut off.
Definitely. Hey, Zach.
Hey, Zach.
Hey, Zach, you want to get in here? I'll send you a link. Say yes or no.
Yeah, just say yes or no. We'd love to have you in here because we got
John will do the rest.
Yep.
Public service announcement for anybody that cares. Next Thursday night, I'm going back on swing shift. So my appearances here will be infrequent. And when I'm not here, don't look for a last man standing because I'll be at work.
And Carl says that was Walt's original plan. Companies would come in and people would live and work at the Disney World.
Well, they got that vast network of tunnels where they have all their control centers for everything. And I'm kind of wondering how they're faring during all this.
Tunnels
They're
in
used to
Florida. Why do the
Yeah.
words sudden flood come to mind?
Yes, but
they aren't going to.
They've probably got enough money for pumps.
They won't get the storm surge from the coast like Fort
No,
Myers.
they're in the middle of the state. So yeah.
it's kind of going up through Myrtle Beach now, isn't it?
Somewhere in that area.
Oh, it's already gone past me. All right.
Mhm.
Let's see, I will get on that.
We had some pretty nice wind today, and I knew that was the outliers from the storm. I didn't know it had gone up that close because the radar wouldn't load. Evidently, everybody in this area was looking at Weather Channel radar.
It gets more inland. It's actually going to kind of peter out a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were getting a little wind off of it today too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was a big storm. It spreads out. All hurricanes do that, especially when they hit landfall. They've got a far-reaching effect, and with this camera,
And
you can't see me wave my hand around in a circle, but
Sarah says it's headed into Charleston.
yeah, it's kind of making a clockwise turn, but up here in the Midwest, we won't see anything from it. It'll be long since down to nothing before anything comes up our way.
yeah. Lindsay was outside today tying down
Discord,
the umbrella, the beach umbrellas and stuff that we use for shade, and stacking up the plastic chairs and things so that they can be more reliably knocked over. So
Yeah, somebody posted up a picture of somebody had already thrown all their pool furniture in the pool and says, "We know how to prepare for a hurricane."
oh, really?
Did you see the Jeff Foxworthy one?
No.
He flipped his kid's trampoline was in the backyard. He flipped it upside down and parked his Toyota Land Rover on it. That's-
That's one way to weigh it down. At least he remembered to flip it upside down first. Can you imagine a Land Cruiser and a trampoline in the wind? Bouncy, bouncy, bouncy.
I want to thank Facebook for telling me that I'm live on my channel now.
Oh, well, that's nice of them.
That was the notification.
Oh. And Sarah,
I was watching Newsy. Yeah. I was watching Newsy channel today, and they were interviewing a Floridian from Fort Myers that, of course, everything is just all tore apart at his place. And anyway, he has this huge swimming pool in his backyard, and they pan the camera over on it. And of course, somebody's boat had just blown and took a nosedive in his swimming pool.
Mm. Good
Yeah.
grief, Carl.
BKM is blocked from YouTube from playing live streams on Facebook because he was wanting to use a flamethrower on a spider and got hit with a violence violation.
Well, it didn't interrupt
That'll
the
learn you,
YouTube
darn ya.
broadcast, did it?
No.
Just Facebook. We'll have to loan him.
Because of my post bitching about that, was that because I had posted something about that. I'm like, where does this one get a stand when mine got stricken? And then I could have swore BKN replied to my post. I can't see it now.
Yeah, they pulled it down and hit him.
Um,
Oh, and don't say anything about glucose enhanced parental figures either.
Yes.
That'll get you 30 days.
Okay.
Haven't been making that many Facebook posts these days. I have been checking in to Facebook to do the happy birthdays and stuff like that. That's really important. But
Says he replied and got a short ban. Then he griped about the ban in the humor group, and then they says, "Okay, well, we'll take another. We'll just extend it."
Once again, that'll learn you, darn you.
the bots are getting touchy.
Very.
Well, they have feelings too, you know.
Only when they've been properly programmed.
Oh, y'all saw my post where my political post, didn't you? Yesterday?
Nope. Sorry.
It says, I just watched, oh, there's Zach. I think that's Zach. Yeah, that's the rocket guy.
Hello, how's it going?
I'll save my political post for later.
Yeah, really. We're just at the beginning of the show. Why'd get us canceled now?
So, what day is Artemis supposed to launch? The 27th?
Good question. Next question. They
What month? What year?
What year? Yeah,
that's the bigger question.
Yeah.
What year? Depends how bad the crawler wave flooded. That's they're doing inspections now to see if they can even roll it back out, but it's November at this point. I'm 95% sure it's November.
That thing's big enough to make its own roads. Good grief. Of course, it's got to be gentle. Otherwise, things will get damaged.
That thing's as old as the space program.
Mhm.
It's older than the Apollos, both of them.
And it almost got a really good pressure wash.
They built them good in them days.
Well,
All I can say is if WKRP does their turkey drop in November, that might keep Artemis in the hangars.
yeah, they need to launch that thing on Thanksgiving.
Well, I said they just needed, like, as a joke, obviously Ian turned and the eye went perfectly over NASA. I said they just needed to wait till the eye of the storm, SLS, storm launch system. You launch it through the eye of the hurricane, and dramatic photos, and it'd be great.
Yeah.
And then have it crash into an asteroid.
Exactly.
Imagine the view from the cameras on the rocket pointing down. You just see this enormous eye wall all the way around the Cape.
Well, and then if the rocket runs, the heat maybe would dissipate the storm, and then we'd know how to kill large hurricanes.
That's right up there on the par with I believe it was an Army general that wanted to nuke hurricanes.
And then Trump came up with it. Said, "Look, let's use some nuclear weapons to stop these hurricanes." And everybody's like,
"No,
you have
that's not
no
a good
idea how much energy is in a hurricane, do you?"
Yeah, really. That'd be like throwing bricks in the Grand Canyon.
Well, if everybody did it,
it would eventually fill up.
Oh,
Yeah.
Zach, did you hear what happened to the little asteroid moon when they impacted it?
No, I'm concerned.
It ain't there no more. It was a dust ball.
Okay.
Really?
I thought it was going to take them a week or so before they could tell whether it changed its trajectory or not.
Yeah, they get one pass every 12 hours, and then they want to see it over time to see if it stabilizes.
Yeah, it created such a dust cloud that within an hour, the dust cloud was as big as the planet Earth.
They showed, there's this one picture, they had a CubeSat went with it. So the impactor went first, the CubeSat followed along behind it, and it actually got a pretty decent picture of the rock getting hit. There was enough light on it, you could actually see what was going on. And it took a picture right after the impact. So you saw the ball off to one side, and you saw this big flare. Big flare going off in the other direction. That was already moved away from the asteroid, or whatever they hit.
Yeah, that's the trouble. You never know if they're a loose aggregate or a solid object before something actually hits them.
Probably both.
What I think, and I'm sure Zach will agree with me, that this is the beginning of a scary Japanese science fiction movie where we've actually uncovered something on the asteroid that's going to release Rodan or Gamera or something, and then he's going to plot his revenge against Earth for waking him up.
The Andromeda Strain, that's
but that's a good movie.
Not the remake, the original 1970s.
I didn't know there was a remake.
It's one of those.
There was. It was bad.
At least
save yourself some eye.
Versions of the Andromeda Strain, I believe. Because I want to say there was one in the 70s, one in the 90s, and then one in the early 2000s.
My loyalty belongs to the original.
Yes, Carl, it was orbiting a bigger asteroid. This was about the size of Soldier Field in Chicago.
That's a big one.
So when's the mission that they're sending Bruce Willis up?
I don't think Bruce is medically sound anymore.
He doesn't have to talk. He just has to drill.
That could be a whole movie in itself.
Yeah, just don't say that with Stephanie in here.
Somebody needs to write all this down, and we can send it off.
Aren't we recording it? I mean, just
Yeah, really. If it's good enough, somebody will make a transcript. Now, the trouble is, if somebody actually uses something we said and makes a movie out of it and doesn't pay us or acknowledge us, how can we sue?
Well, we've got the original broadcast where we talked about it.
Joe Dog's got Alexa. He needs to have her transcribe everything.
No.
She can't hold a pen.
She can run a printer.
I've seen her sit on his lap before. Now, come on.
Not touching that with a 10-foot pole. Not even in the green room.
Since Zach's here, I'm going to ask something that's been slightly bothering me. ULA just launched the last of their
Delta Force.
Delta Force. They're replacing it with the Vulcan. Or is it something else? Or
Yeah,
I think they're
Delta 4 Heavy. They did their last one from California. They've got 2 more in Florida.
Oh.
And then that and Atlas and the Delta 2 from a decade ago are all being replaced by Vulcan in one single rocket.
And isn't Vulcan supposed to be partially reusable?
Eventually, they want it to be.
Oh.
There's this little name tag that they rip off before they launch. They stick it on the next one.
Yeah.
Remove before launch.
Well, it's also supposed to be human. It's also supposed to be human rated, but now they've decided not to human rate it until someone actually pays them to put a capsule on it. So they're going to only cargo rate it for the first version. So
there goes my plan to put politicians on it.
Well, you can put them on New Shepard.
I just was going to duct tape them to the side, you know.
Oh.
In which case, you can still use them as cargo.
That makes
Yeah,
me
New
very,
Shepard,
very
politicians.
angry.
Human rating.
It may be a while before we see New Shepard launch again.
Yeah, probably 6 to 9 months.
Yeah.
I mean, everything worked. So the only question is, why did it fail? And it looks like the engine melted.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
looks like the engine rutted by itself, and then it just started spewing propellant everywhere and went boom.
And the capsule got away from it very quickly.
It did what it's supposed to.
Hey, yeah.
I
That's
trust
why
it
they
more.
call it an emergency escape system.
I think I trust New Shepard more now, having seen it fail during an operational flight, than I did knowing, yeah, we tested it before, but hey, it actually worked. Like 20 flights after we did the test of an evacuation.
Well, wasn't the Apollo command module, wasn't that, or the crew capsule, wasn't that test actually, the rocket actually blew up before the test was to start?
Possibly?
I don't remember that one.
I'm blanking on that. But maybe.
For those of you who don't know, if you remember the old Saturn V, they had way up at the top was the command module. And that's where the 3 astronauts sat during launch. And they had this big spike sticking off the top of it. And if you look real close at it, there's 3 little rocket engines mounted around it. That's the launch escape. Oh, thank you. Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
That thing. That is the launch escape system. That's what pulls the capsule away from the rest of the rocket.
Yep. Fire the explosive bolts connecting
now
it
watch
to the
him,
service module.
Watch him
and
break
the,
his model just because I'm trying to explain this to you. There. That's exactly what's supposed to happen. So that little sucker is actually faster than what was at the time the most powerful rocket ever launched.
Well, powerful doesn't equal speed until it gets up a good head of steam.
Now wait a minute, isn't the SLS going to be more powerful than the Saturn V?
Block 2 will be. Block 1 is not. So Block 1's actually also shorter than Saturn. Block 2 will be taller, and that's why they made the really smart decision of making the mobile launcher and tower work for only Block 1, so they have to do $1 billion retrofit to make it fit for Block 2.
Of course.
Hello, Facebook user. We don't know who you are. Find the thing, John.
Are you doing it, or you want me to do it?
You do it. You do it. Because we don't know who you are. Just say your name, and we'll start calling you by your name.
Yep. Hey, John finds it quickly.
And then that little pea shooter in Texas is going to be big, more powerful than all of them.
That's the hope. If it ever gets off the ground.
You know, I hate to say this, but every time I see that super heavy and all those rocket motors that are going to be up underneath it, I keep thinking about the old Soviet N1.
Yep.
You would.
Oh, we're all thinking it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, that one is an interesting rocket. It was actually a pretty good design. The rocket motors on it were really good rocket motors. They're still using a version of that thing to launch rockets. The problem was they can't weld their plumbing for shit.
Hi, Clayton.
Okay, Clayton. I guess you know who that is, Bill.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you go to
Very-
that StreamYard.com Facebook and just say, yes, I will give you permission to use my name on the show.
I think I just recently sent Clayton a invite to the Stupid O'Clock group. So I see he made it in here, and welcome. He's a very talented individual. And
speaking of which, I wanted to ask y'all something. I just got this today. Clyde Hall sent me a friend invite.
Yeah, he's one of ours.
Yeah. Where do I know him from?
BKM's comic book shows.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll confirm him right now.
Yeah. Saltership?
Saltership? That's great. Way to go, Marcus.
Oh.
Hey, we launched a lot of spacecraft with nothing more powerful than a Texas Instruments calculator. Okay.
Yep.
This is more powerful than rooms of computers back in that era.
Yes.
That's why we
autocorrect. Yeah, turn autocorrect off, and you'll probably spell things more understandably.
Now, I'm curious.
It might still be typos, but we'll be able to understand what you're getting at.
What the hell is a salter ship if that's autocorrect?
You should tweet that to Elon. That'll be their next generation. They wanted to do a third engine. It'll be powered by salt.
Powering it with every other damn thing you can find down there in Texas.
Oh no!
Hey, don't laugh. They'll have a salsa-powered rocket in no time.
I was just thinking Elon has signed a treaty with the Daleks.
There you go.
Ooh, salsa.
Jar rocket fuel.
Oh, did you see the Raptor relight test?
I've heard of it. I didn't actually get to see it yet.
They fired it up, ran it for like 4 or 5 seconds, shut down, and 9 seconds later relit it.
Nice.
How'd that do?
Magic.
What it's supposed to? Oh.
It didn't blow up.
It didn't rud, so.
SpaceX, the NASCAR of rocket science.
Carl, my inner skeptic is going, no, that can't be right. But knowing Mythbusters.
No, they did.
Yeah, see?
Get the right rednecks, and you can launch anything with a little bit of starter fluid and some PVC. And a grill would matter.
They used pure oxygen and gummy bears. Cast a hollow rocket motor out of gummy bears, ignited it with dumping pure oxygen in, and it went half a mile.
There was a science fiction writer that pointed out that the charcoal in the formula for old-fashioned gunpowder is just carbon, and you could use just about any source of carbon that was good enough to do that. So he had an alien species that used sugar instead of charcoal with the sulfur and saltpeter to make their gunpowder in their Wild West days.
Well, back in the Civil War, there's a reason all these pictures you see of Chattanooga there's no trees. They cut down all the trees, burn them
To make the charcoal for the
to make the charcoal for the gunpowder. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And boats and bridges.
Yeah.
Strengthen your iron to make steel, blow crap up, filter your water, filter the toxins out of your body. Charcoal is one of the most useful substances on the planet.
And sugar, for those of you who don't know, especially powdered sugar, is very energetic. It'll burn crazy like.
Yeah, that's one molecule with a lot of carbon in it.
Especially aerosolized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not as energetic as coffee creamer.
Well, that's the same thing, same reason. Is if they powder it down.
It's
where
powdered,
good
yeah.
fuel.
That's why. Let's see, grain elevators that are very dusty can blow up.
And often do.
Places that grind sugar into powdered sugar can blow up. Lots of other kinds of dust.
Wheat into to flour. There were no candles allowed near any of those mills because of how quickly they could just go.
Really, it's there's a specific concentration of the dust in the air. It's like a fuel air mixture basically. And then one little spark. It's the 2nd of July all over again.
Or the 14th if you're in France.
Oh, that's a wedding anniversary now.
Let's see. How big is that one?
I want to say they tried blowing up the Bastille.
Yeah.
Oh heavens! That's probably one nice thing about that asteroid being in the vacuum, because it'd be highly flammable now that it's a dust cloud. Carbonaceous chondrite, so in powdered form, it is explosive. Probably, I don't know. Like I said,
Too much
good thing
dairy
it's in
and
a vacuum.
explosive.
The only thing I could think of when they were talking about it very possibly could have destroyed a big portion of that asteroid that it hit reminded me of the story of the Federation going to the Vulcans wanting another warp drive.
If you have never read that, it's a whole page of stuff, several pages of well, basically why humans are the hold my beer and watch this species of the Federation.
Yeah.
I thought. Wait a minute.
What
I thought that was the Andorians.
No.
No, they asked. They went to the Vulcans, asked them for another warp drive. What do you need? Another warp drive? We want to explode it in a star. Why? Just to see what it'll do.
We have live audio of that.
You want to try that again?
Bill,
Maybe.
I'll do it again. Hold on here. Here.
You do it. There you go.
Like system.
Right. This is interesting. Let me show you. All right. Y'all ever see this before?
Yeah.
Yes.
Only once though.
Okay. This is it's a German aircraft from World War II. It is the Lippisch P-13A. And it's a ramjet-powered Delta Wing interceptor aircraft that they were studying that runs on powdered coal dust as the propellant for it.
Okay.
It's a steampunk fighter plane.
It's a steampunk fighter plane. I kid you not.
And you know how well what happened?
Sorry.
You want to know how well it worked? Dan, you want to know how well it worked?
I'm all ears.
When they lit it up, they heard this.
Actually, no, it works very well. They actually have one at the Smithsonian.
Quit. The loop turned on again. Okay.
You've got it on loop.
Oh yeah,
I got it
blend
turned
loop.
off.
Major problems on
guys.
both of our ends.
That wasn't a recording. That was Joe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Actually, from the article I read, if they had made the delta wing wider, it probably would have worked a whole lot better. But because it was just this little dart bit, they had to go really fast for it to get any lift.
Where is it?
I've got no idea what that means.
What? What? Oh.
It's like my
From
YouTube
context, I
background.
think that's somebody making a fart joke.
Oh.
From context, that's the only thing. There's, I know those are actual words, but the way they're strung together makes no sense whatsoever.
Clayton. That's from Clayton. Oh. So, Zach, you were headed down to Florida and got turned around, right?
Yeah, I was 40 hours from getting on a plane, not even. And then we saw it starting to turn, and we're like, they're not going to fly. We're going to get down there, and they're going to scrub it. Worst case scenario, they're going to start fueling. They're not going to launch in this. The weather's not going to hold. Let's not risk it. Probably was the right decision. I mean, would have been not interesting to be down there, but to be able to report on site through Ian, I mean, definitely would have been better than from the basement, but safety first and also financial second. So we'll probably have to be back down there in 3 weeks. And then 3 weeks later, back down to Starbase for Starship. So
You got an RV?
lots of flying.
You got an RV?
Yes.
Because chances are you're not going to be able to find a hotel room down there for the next few months.
Yeah, we've been looking at Airbnbs and stuff already, but they're definitely right now all shut
Now
down.
there are water B&Bs.
Yeah, worst case, we know a couple of people that have houses that said we can crash there. I don't think our entire team's going to make it out this next attempt. We had 2 people that were still going out actually tonight that were going to be flying over until 3 hours ago. They got a call that their flights were canceled. So it's like, well, just, nice last minute. But they couldn't cancel themselves. They had to wait for the airline to be like, oh, yeah, the airport's still closed. Would you like a refund? No, keep my money.
No, it's just money. Keep it. Yeah,
Pass it forward.
it's not really worth anything anyway. Just paper.
So
Numbers in a computer.
we'll see what happens when we get back down there.
Bill, Clayton's asking you a question.
I am currently working on a very frustrating piece of artwork that I had so many problems with today. I just put it down and walked away. Sometimes you got to do that. And I will work on it again over the weekend. But since you asked, Clayton, I had a nice, pleasant surprise yesterday that the fine young ladies from Tales from the Geek had shared some of my artwork that I had posted a few days back. What was it? Frankenstein Jr. from the cartoon of the Hanna-Barbera cartoons of the same name. And I knew they were following my artwork page, but I didn't know that they did this. And of course, Facebook was as late on notifying me about it as he was as late notifying Joe Dog that he's live right now. So,
Yeah.
But I greatly appreciated it either way, though. So, and now I will return the question to you. And what great thing are you working on right now? Very talented individual.
Zach, are you going to cover Starlink launch again tonight? Or in a few hours.
Oh, Firefly?
Is
Or
it?
not Firefly. One of the ones. The
I thought
Vandenberg one?
I thought it was a Starlink launch.
I don't think. I don't know. Let's find out.
Let's find out.
There shouldn't
Oh,
be a
Firefly's at 3:01 in the morning. No,
Yeah, Firefly's in 5.5 hours.
Ooh.
Yay! 50 hours up straight. Let's go.
You can make it.
I'm not saying that I unboxed a Keurig and set it up on my office desk, but
you've unboxed a Keurig and got it setting off.
No,
What you need is some
anybody
Death
want
Wish.
something?
What you need is some Death Wish coffee and some Black Rifle coffee.
and an intravenous bottle.
Just
Mexican Coke.
ooh,
Wait a
can't
minute.
beat
I don't
that.
know if this stuff is legal in Canada. Get busted trying to get it across the border.
Black Rifle?
Sure. We have some of it. I think we can import it.
Yeah, hey.
But apparently our Kinder Surprises are more
Don't tell me
dangerous
that the Canadians are restricted to the decaf version. That would be unfair.
Hey, Stellar.
Now, who's this? Stellar Form TLP.
One of our team. And Marcus earlier is as well.
Ah.
I dropped it
Look.
in our pub chat.
Nice to have y'all here.
And
don't please do
Zach,
come
I
back
hope
again.
you wrote that down. Salta shit.
Oh, I screenshotted it.
Okay.
We're
Okay.
not letting him live it down.
A stupid o'clock hashtag.
Yeah, we'll just
Oh yeah.
one more time.
What the hell? I got to look that up now.
We need
Saltar
somebody-
ship.
Baltar ship.
Yeah, that's what it says. Saltar ship.
Wasn't that a villain on Space Ghost?
You know it's good when it doesn't come up with anything on Google.
What?
That means
Saltar?
Saltar ship.
Did you mean
Nobody's
Starship?
registered it as a
Solar ship.
copyright yet.
Marcus, go buy the website. Sell it to Elon.
I remember there was one LibertyCon. I was talking to some folks and had a spoonerism moment and made up a word accidentally. Next thing I know, somebody that liked what I said had registered it as their domain name. They thought it was such a cute word, they went ahead and basically, misspoke. And hey, words happen. Now,
Yeah, I can't words too good.
evidently, I do it accidentally.
As long as you get from point A to B, you're good.
It's nice to be able to add to everybody's vocabulary, considering that English is one of those languages that follows other languages down a dark hallway and mugs them for loose bits of grammar.
Yeah, I'm learning new words every day. We brought on a partner for TLP that is in England. So new words every day. It's like, okay, no clue what you're saying, but let's figure it out.
Yes, I am a writer. I'm not a very famous one, but my fans think I'm fairly decent at it.
And also inspiring other folks to write.
Well, that I'm very good at. I've been doing that for 25 years. But, yep.
Well, in case you guys don't know, this is actually the 40th anniversary. Not switching gears here, but I just thought before I forget, because I am a 60-year-old man, get off my lawn. This is the 40th anniversary of the first Tylenol death that occurred in Chicago with the cyanide-laced Tylenol.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Tylenol.
Oh,
Yeah. Zach, you don't know this, but Tylenol used to come in capsule form.
mhm.
Still does.
Okay.
Certain variants.
And,
A lot of things did.
Right. A lot of things still do, but
And
They
no
didn't have the
tamper
safety seals
seals.
back then. Yeah.
Yep, no. The anti-tamper seals had not been invented, but this
nope.
caused them to be.
Pop the top, pull a cotton, you got access to your stuff.
Hmm.
I will never forget that because just you, well, you heard about the first one 40 years ago today. They thought it was an isolated incident. Then it happened again, and it happened again, and it happened again. And then next thing you know, everybody, I mean, you could not find Tylenol anywhere. And quite the popular thing back in the day, which of course it still is, and I
Michaela.
occasionally
Michaela.
take it, but it was a major scare. And then everybody was thinking, okay, they put cyanide in Tylenol. What else did they put it in? I mean, this was
Hmm. All of a sudden, every product you buy has got safety seals and anti-tamper stuff on it, and probably we're a whole lot safer for that one little development.
And then there was a woman who decided to kill her husband using that method and had to go back and actually doctor some pills on the shelf to be able to have someone else die of it so that they could exhume her husband, test, find the results so that she could get the accidental on top of the life insurance.
I remember that. I thought that was it. That was the whole thing of it. That it was done.
That was a spin-off of it. Yeah, that was a spin-off of it. And Forensic Files has a good episode on that. We see that one quite often in our very often run Forensic File marathons in our household.
Yeah. And according to Sarah, they've never figured it out.
The original, no.
No, the original is still unsolved.
and it could have been that some of the other ones were just copycat ones on that, but
most likely,
just,
yes.
You know,
Hello, Keisha.
like anything else. Hi, Keisha.
Oh, I wanted to say, Michaela just put out a brand new book today on Amazon.
Kindle Vella.
Kindle Vella. Thank you. I was trying to remember the exact words. And everybody should go check that out because it's paving the way for a brand new sort of market for folks. And we want to see how it works as writer types. So make it work.
And we want to see it work because it's a very interesting model.
It's, what is it? It's under what, 5,000 words or something like that?
It's basically people will pay for what amounts to chapters, and hopefully, if it works out, it'll be enough to where you put up a chapter or so at a time, certain word limit at a time, and you pay just a little bit, and then when the whole thing is done,
the drug dealer methodology. Your first taste is free, and then you have to start paying.
When the whole thing is done, you're free to take it off of there and go for an actual full-scale book of all the individual chapters. I think it's a neat idea. I want to see how it works. And Michaela deserves all the success she can get, too, because she's a damn fine writer. Would.
Yeah.
Lots of people we know are damn fine writers.
We hang out with a lot of that for nonfiction.
Yeah.
Because Where the Where would fit that model nicely, too.
Some of Stephanie's stuff would fit that model nicely. Okay, yeah. Episodes are 500 to 5,000 words. And I don't think there is a limit to the final product, but hey, for somebody that's got something sitting in the back catalog, not doing anything, never appeared anywhere else before, it's a good experiment.
How would fan fiction fall into that?
You run into licensing problems
Uh,
with fanfic. Yeah. Um,
Depending on how you skin the fanfic, because
there's
you
only
can skin fanfic very well so that it's not blatantly ripping off the template of you can refreeze things and have Star Trek without it really being Star Trek, and it's still technically fan fiction. I
I
mean, look
do know
at
a few people that have managed to pull that off with that particular franchise. I think they finally um, got permission, basically signed a license to use uh, the Federation as a mythology, basically. A world building, and not use any at all of the named characters or whatever. Just the uh, the the
ideology.
the geography, basically, of the different planets, solar systems, whatever, everything through there, but not use any of the characters from the original stuff.
no, I had a good story going until uh, Ronald Moore killed off my main character. I figured out how to make the new Battlestar Galactica and Trek work together. Only problem is Ronald Moore killed off my main character, so I had to see where the series was going, and it ended up being 150,000 years in the past.
Uh, Now we had one fellow back in the early days of Aphelion that managed a very, very good crossover between Doctor Who and Star Trek. It was excellently done. I wish that he had been able to license it, but I don't think either franchise would have permitted it to be professionally published.
Oh, which reminded when you said that there was a fanfic of Doctor Who and Quantum Leap.
Ooh, that would be interesting to read.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, yeah. Sam jumps into the 10th Doctor. But the new Quantum Leap, everybody's going, "Oh, Sam, it's not a reboot. It's a continuation." They actually have Beth, and it's the actual actor that played Beth in Quantum Leap, Al's wife.
Mm-hmm.
Which one?
The one that was actually featured in the series.
And Donna says she likes the new Quantum Leap. Yeah.
That
I
Only
haven't had a
thing
chance
is-
to check it out yet.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like about it is they spend too much time back at the Quantum Leap headquarters and spend too much time on those characters.
Well, every series takes half a season at the very minimum to find its footing. Look at Next Generation. It wasn't till second season that it actually found out what it was trying to be.
Until it grew the beard.
I wasn't going to go there.
Well, that's what it's called.
The
You
Beard
actually,
Generation.
yeah.
I actually watched it was the pilot to the A-Team, which was 2 episodes, and totally forgot that Dirk Benedict was not in it. It was I can't even think of the guy's name now, but I know the name. But anyway, so I don't know if
It wasn't George
he started.
Hamilton, was it?
Tim Dunnigan.
Tim
Tim
Dunnigan.
Dunnigan,
Okay.
thank you. Which he did good. I mean, you could see he did the character the same way, of course, Dirk Benedict did for the rest of the entirety of the show or of the series, but for whatever reason, he never stayed.
I don't want to jump
Saturday.
off, but I'm getting called into something, so I might jump back on. I might not. But thank you for having me.
Okay.
Oh, it's been
So
fun.
what's
It's
going
always
on,
fun.
Zach?
I'm figuring out that launch window, and I redid my entire Discord yesterday, and some of the teams like, what did you do? So
Time for a team meeting.
Yeah, I think I broke some stuff that's not working because people can't see things. So
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
Well,
you're
yeah,
welcome
who
back
doesn't like
anytime.
rebuilding, I basically wiped the slate and rebuilt it all in the middle of the night. So everyone went to bed with one Discord and then woke up the next morning. It was all different. And all the rules were different.
You pulled a Facebook on it.
Oh, I went and pulled full Facebook on them. Yeah, roles are different. People's responsibilities are different. They're like, am I not a mod anymore? I'm like, no, we don't have mods anymore. We have different things. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah. Went and pulled a Facebook. But
You got some splaining to do, Lucy.
All right. Well, I'm glad you popped in, and Zach, let you know you are welcome here anytime.
Well, thank you. I
Exactly.
appreciate it. Try to jump on more.
All right.
Well, you guys have a good night. We'll see you later.
You have a good one.
Take care.
Take it out, brother.
And then there were 5.
Dun dun dun.
All right.
Just that quick.
Oh, yes, I like it over here on this side. It hides my receding hairline.
Oh shoot.
The red live rectangle.
Yeah, but, put things back like they were. Hello, doggy.
No, that ain't what I want. That's what I want. Quit. Now, John pumped that back up.
No, I didn't.
All right. Let's go ahead and leave that up because, people, you have 2 days to get your badges for HallowCon.
Yes, there was somebody that had not decided whether or not they wanted to attend this year, and I told them, look, if you don't do it by Sunday, price goes up.
No, if
And
you
they
don't
went-
do it by Saturday.
Yeah, price goes up Sunday. Yes, that's
Yeah.
what I told them. Yeah.
Price is going up just like the gas prices.
No, it's going faster.
Gas is actually coming down.
Yeah.
Not here. It's gone up to $4 from $3.35.
Oh, it was hovering at almost $5 here for a long time, a couple of months ago, and now it's down to $3.13 this morning. I saw on one station. Yeah, don't hesitate.
We heard Biden say, or warning the oil companies not to use the Hurricane Ian as an excuse to raise oil. But actually, there were 2 that had scheduled shutdowns for maintenance. And then there was another one that did shut down. It was not a maintenance scheduled one, but they did it for another reason. But I don't remember what the reason was, or they didn't disclose it, one of the 2.
Well, it's 270 something here.
Yep. And oil companies do not need an excuse to raise prices. They'll raise prices just because they feel like it.
Because they can.
Yeah, well, just because you can do something is no reason to actually go ahead and do it.
Well, I think they should be changing over to the winter grade before too long, and then that's usually a little bit cheaper. Not by any leaps and bounds, but it's usually a little bit cheaper than the summer grade. But I don't know when they change over, though.
I have to admit, I don't pay any attention to it. I buy what I need when I need it, and whatever it costs is what I have to pay. I can protest all I like, but I'm not rich and famous and important, so nobody listens. Doesn't keep me from blowing off steam, though.
You got to make a car that runs off of that, Dan.
Didn't one of the early models of automobiles in the U.S. was an electric car? I mean, batteries were very badly designed in the day, and so were engines, and so were cars. But for a long while, there were more electric cars than there were internal combustion engines in cars.
Well, I post a picture up every time it comes around. Chattanooga had a beer brewery here, and the delivery truck was electric. It looked like a stagecoach, and the steering wheel sat straight up, and
Like a tiller?
yeah,
I had a really weird thought the other day about the, you know how I've been just absolutely fascinated with the canal boats over in England.
yeah.
Now they've got this invasive weed that is growing up in the canals. It's basically somebody dumped an old aquarium in a canal, and the plants from the aquarium were able to not only survive but to thrive, and now it's taking over everywhere
Uh,
and fouling propellers and all this other stuff. I'm going, you know, didn't we have paddle wheelers over here that were able to deal with some of that stuff? I'm going, I can just see a 7.5 foot wide, 70 foot long boat with paddle wheels on the side instead of a propeller in the back. Oh, Lord.
Did you
And
know?
when the water got shallow, you just keep right on crawling across it.
Did you know that during World War II, the U.S. Navy converted 2 side-wheeler paddle wheel boats into aircraft carriers on the Great Lakes and used them for training carrier pilots?
That sounds like a brilliant idea. It would be slow, wide, and stable.
Yes. I can't remember what they were called, but it was kind of funny. All the Navy pilots knew what the hell they were talking about when they were like, they had paddle wheel aircraft carriers. Oh yeah, I landed on that thing a couple dozen times. It's like, and it was like, 80% of the Navy pilots that survived World War II knew
The
exactly what
Sable
these people
and the
were talking about.
Wolverine. The Sable and the Wolverine, IX-81 and IX-64.
well, also, that wasn't the only paddle wheelers that the U.S. Navy had. They commandeered the Delta Queen.
Oh, the one with the single rear
Yeah,
paddle. Yeah.
Mhm.
and it was a ferry in San Francisco Bay from the hospital ships to shore. Then the people that bought it moved it to the Mississippi.
I wonder if anybody's got a picture of Delta Queen going through the Panama Canal.
They
Somebody
did
may
on
have.
the boat because I've seen it.
Those of you who don't know, we had the Delta Queen here in Chattanooga for a while.
That's a big river, though. I mean, it's not as big as the Mississippi, but it's a good sizable river.
Now my brain is replacing the lyrics to ABBA's Dancing Queen with Delta Queen.
I was thinking of way down yonder on the Chattahoochee.
Where it gets hotter than a hoochie coochie.
Yeah. Chattahoochee's not very deep in a lot of places.
It was numbered YFB 56, painted battleship gray.
Oh.
Actually, I think I've got a picture of that.
Oh, and Ryan joined, and I wasn't looking. Hello, Ryan.
Yep. YFB 58 painted in battleship gray. That picture sucks. But,
Well, Joe got one up.
This is going through with that. This is
Ah.
going through the Panama Canal.
oh,
They covered up the paddle wheel. They boarded up the sides and towed it the whole way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a riverboat out on the ocean would not do very good.
It'd have to be a great big one. I mean, aircraft carrier sized. Modern aircraft carrier sized.
that's what it looked like when it was in Navy service.
Looks a bit top heavy, doesn't it? Of course, all that upper structure is probably much, much lighter than the lower stuff, which would help with its stability.
And it didn't have those flying bridges off the side. They pulled those off.
Well, they're still there. They're just a lot smaller now.
Well, you'd have to worry about wind resistance on something that light and that big.
Especially in San Francisco.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a sister ship to the Delta Queen. It's a boutique hotel out in California. It is called the Delta King. And no, I'm not making a joke. That's the ship's name, the riverboat's name.
Yeah. It's because Delta Burke wouldn't sign the license. What? Nobody ready for a designing women joke? Okay.
No, what I ate is what I was trying to scarf down before the show starting to fight back.
Yep, you were in a hurry.
You need to make sure that it's dead before you start eating it.
Uh-oh! We got to behave now.
There's the lady.
So somebody had a good day today, huh?
Somebody had a good day today, mostly because somebody had a good night last night.
Yep.
Did you finally get some sleep?
Yes.
Ah,
I got a steroid shot in my knee, the bad knee yesterday, and hey Carl. And so by the time I went to bed last night, my knee was feeling much better, and for some reason the cat did not bug the crap out of me last night. I slept through the night. Undisturbed. It was fantastic.
yeah.
It was that 55-gallon drum of catnip I sent you.
Oh,
Oh, Dan, we all know she took a Dimetap nap.
The cat?
Well, probably him too.
the cat. We have given the previous cat Benadryl, children's liquid Benadryl before. On the vet's orders. Hey Donna. Um, Now it's really funny because cats cannot spit. That said, it turns out that this one did not like the taste of the Benadryl. And just because they can't spit doesn't mean they don't know that there's a thing for getting unwanted tastes out of the mouth. It's got bleh, 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 bleh.
And they almost look like they got rabies.
Yeah, because they froth. So yeah, that's one of my favorite comic strips.
Yeah. I bought something, a little Hot Wheels the other day, and it's, tried to hold it to where you could see it. It's a little Batmobile,
Oh,
but
it's cute.
it's scrunched up, but I'll tell you what it reminds me of. Back when I was a wee lad, we went to a vacation in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and someplace along the strip, probably in front of where they sold taffy or something like that, because that was everywhere.
Right.
They had a
Still
little, yeah.
Gatlinburg,
They had the
Gatlinburg's made out of taffy. Nobody knows that.
the coin operated rides that you would have out in front of a store that was usually a rocket ship or a horse or whatever. They had a Batmobile, and I swear it looked just like this one. With the scrunched up little thing, and I just thought it was cute as hell. And they're only 97 cents, and yes, I took it off the card because I wanted to display it on my desk over here. But
it's the 1960s Batman Batmobile, but scrunched.
Yeah. It's like it got into
the Penny Racer version.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, there is a car museum, or not a car museum. There is a museum in Gatlinburg that has one of the 5 actual used on the show Batmobiles and Batgirl's Batcycle. I stopped. I found a parking place in Gatlinburg. I found a parking place.
Yeah, really.
Being able to go to this place and take pictures must have been ordained from on high, because it was just one lucky thing after another. And they actually let me lean inside and take pictures of the dashboard and stuff like that. Of course, this was back when cameras had to have film. So God only knows what happened to those photographs after they got developed.
Well, Gatlinburg has learned now about people will pay to park. We went up there about 2 years ago. $15 to park in a parking lot.
That's cheap compared to Chicago.
Yeah, well,
Atlanta.
Yeah,
or
really.
Atlanta, but Gatlinburg?
There's some places it's cheaper to buy a house with a garage than to pay for parking.
Well, Dan, what you said about the Batmobile there at Gatlinburg, and Donna and Carl may remember this, up in the north end of Danville back in the 80s. And Carl and Donna, I'm talking, it was right across Liberty Lane from the McDonald's. There used to be an auto parts store, and I think it was called CarQuest at the time. And then later on, it went out of business, and then it became a bread store, and I don't even know what it is now. But anyway, at one time, they had a car show up there in the lot, and they had one of the original 5 Batmobiles there. And they were charging people $5 to get their picture taken, standing next to the Batmobile. I go up there with my Kodak Instamatic camera that I had for since the 70s, and I asked the woman, I said, do you mind taking a picture of me with the Batmobile, but using my camera instead? And she said, okay. And I said, well, here's my $5. She said, no, since you're using your camera, we won't charge you for it. And I'm like, oh, great. So I go to stand next to it, and she says, sit inside of it. I'm like, whoa.
Ooh.
So I open the door, I sit inside. Now,
Sorry.
full disclosure, sitting inside the bat, I'm not a 6'2", and I was then as well. Not a small person, pretty tall. My knees were up against the steering wheel. The seats in the Batmobile, the closest thing I can say that they resemble, I know they were Ford seats. I don't think they were Mustangs, but they were something similar to it. They had it flat on the floor. And if that was that way for Adam West and Burt Ward, I don't know how they did it, but I'm sure something was a little different for the drivable ones. This one had a wax engine in it. It didn't even have a real engine. And they had to pull it from place to place and that. But I do have pictures of me with that somewhere around here. And then fast forward to the early 90s, we went up to Great America. This is about the time Batman Returns was out in the movie theater. Great America, north of Chicago, had Batman the Ride, which basically just strapped you in. You didn't sit, it held you up, and your feet are dangling in the air, and you went every which way. And I was not going to go on that, but they had one of the Batmobiles from probably the first movie, or a duplicate of it. Of course, that one they had all roped off to where you could walk around and take pictures of it, but they didn't want you to get near it. I had to chance that. And so I gave my buddy my camera, and when I thought nobody else was looking, I ducked underneath the velvet ropes, went over there. I knew I wasn't going to be able to get into it because that's like a cockpit that you got to climb into. There's no doors or anything. And they did have the carriage back, so I leaned up against it. He snapped a couple pictures, and then next thing I know, I had this come up on the back. I was escorted outside of the velvet ropes. I thought I was going to jail, and we were there with a church group on a bus trip. But he said,
Whoops.
if you get caught on the other side of the velvet ropes again, you will never come into this park again. And I said, I won't, and but I still got my pictures with it, but I got into a lot of trouble for it, though.
Yes, Bill, you excel at getting into trouble.
Well, I've always said
Hey.
I'm a keen mixer.
if you don't have fun, what good is it? You know.
And what movie is that from, Dan? I'm a keen mixer. A certain movie that came out in 1964, starring 4 mop-topped individuals.
Oh, sorry. If it ain't Hard Day's Night, I don't know.
That would be that.
Oh, yes.
Speaking
but
of
he's
Great
clean.
America, you reminded me of a funny story of one of my friends. So they had the Iron Wolf roller coaster, which was a standing roller coaster. You know, they jack you in. There was a part of the harness that came up between your legs to make sure that you were supported the entire way. My buddy Brian was joking around and messing around, and he jumped up just as they locked everything in. So he spent the entire ride supported by his 3 best friends, and I don't mean the guys in the Winnebago.
But the boys.
He became a soprano.
Falsetto for a while, yeah. We were laughing at him the entire time.
Talk
Yeah,
about
but he was complaining in a voice that only dogs could hear.
talk about sneaking into vehicles that you weren't supposed to be in.
Oh heavens! They told you about that? I thought high school was over.
Is it Sherry?
Yep, we see it.
If they'd left the keys in the lock, we still wouldn't know where you were.
Probably not.
That ignition
Or
is
when.
rather hard to crack, but it can be done.
Yeah, what
She
is it
has to
about
like
old
you.
car places being turned into bread stores? We had a tire and brake shop out in Maryville, Indiana that ended up being turned into not a hostess shop, but basically an Aunt Millie's shop instead.
Where did you say that was located, Rich?
Which the brake shop that got turned into an Aunt Millie's shop?
Yeah.
Maryville, Indiana.
You know how we say that around here? Dan knows. Merville.
Oh Lord, what's the one near Atlanta?
Actually, that's how a lot of the folks say it when
There
they're
you
coming out
go.
of the bars.
That's how you know a native from a visitor. If you say Mayretta, they know you from around here.
It's like what?
You mean M-A? How do you spell the hell these? M-A-R-I-E-T-T-A?
Yeah. Mayretta.
Mayretta. It's the culture. It's a cultural thing. It's got nothing to do with spelling or enunciation. It's just
John,
learned vocabulary.
that thing I just put in there, John, put that up for Stephanie. In the
Now you tell
chat. Chat
Oh yeah,
thingy.
now you tell me.
The chat thingamabob.
Oh, he sent it in chat.
Or yeah.
Carl, we had a Dairy Queen that turned into a day-old bread store,
Yeah.
and now I think it's after that it turned into a damn photo booth where you drop off your film and pick it up a few hours later.
Okay. I just typed in a name of a town into private chat. John, you get to go last. I want to see how everybody says that.
I'll say something later, but
I know. Brian K. Morris is going to cringe when I say it this way, but
Yeah.
Lafayette.
Nope.
Lafayette.
Nope.
Honey, I'm from Tennessee. It's Lafayette.
I surrender.
John?
Oh, sorry, that was the Viking in me. I agree
John?
with Stephanie.
Lafayette.
That too.
Lafayette.
Now, here's the funny thing. Of course, I'm from Biloxi originally, so I'm used to hearing the New Orleans style pronunciation for it. So I got a lot of crap when I came here to Tennessee, and I called it Lafayette.
And Stephanie, John flashed that so quick. That was me in the TARDIS.
Oh,
No, I went and I looked on the chat.
Oh, you looked in the
Yeah.
chat. Okay, yeah.
sorry.
Now, when my mom was a teenager, she was living in a town up north of Knoxville called La Follette. It wound up on Unsolved Mysteries because of some children that met a untimely end on a railroad track through there, and foul play was suspected. Robert Stack kept pronouncing it La Follette,
Oh,
and I just cringed. You've never been there, have you? No. Otherwise, you'd heard people that live there pronounce it La Follette.
That's Denny's version of a combination between a waffle and an omelet.
I was watching a video yesterday about they had the 10 ships that had sunk that you could still visit, and it went there. And one of them and it killed my. It was the aircraft carrier. Orascani.
Gesundheit.
Oh no, I can
Stephanie?
just imagine.
Stephanie.
Yeah.
The aircraft carrier Orascani. It was how the guy was pronouncing it.
Oh, okay.
It was a major aircraft carrier and worked for NASA on occasion. It was the
Is that what you
Oriskany.
just-
He called it the Orascani.
Oriskany.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. John just. I'll pronounce this one, John. John's posted up another town name.
Can we not post those? Well, it's private chat. Of course, we can't post.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Before we go on, Joe, give me just a second.
All right.
and Carl's right. Cairo is pronounced differently than how
Yeah.
a
Cairo.
town of a similar name in Egypt is pronounced. Yeah. No, it's Cairo.
Well, there's a Brazil, Indiana that I swear everybody that lives in Brazil pronounces it Brazil.
Brazil.
Brazil. It's
All
and
right.
you got to say it that way too. It's two consonants or whatever.
Now here's a town for you. It's on the screen.
Yeah. Looks like it should be pronounced Whitwell.
Mhm.
Nope.
Nope.
What?
Whitwell.
Yeah.
Ain't no U's in there.
What wool? Okay.
Is that near Louisville?
No, that's just over the hill from us.
It's just south of Dunlap.
One of my favorite jokes. So you've got two truckers who are in Louisville, and they're arguing over
Good night, Carl.
how to pronounce it. One says it's Louisville, the other says Louisville. So finally, they turn to the lady behind the counter, and they're like, "Can you please tell us how to pronounce where we're at right now? Say it slow so we can make sure that we get it right." The girl leans over the counter and goes, "Burger King."
Saw that coming.
Waffle House.
Well, when I hear somebody that pronounces it Louisville, I'm thinking they got peanut butter in their mouth or something.
Yeah, but that's the way they pronounce it.
Yeah, I've got an aunt that lives there. She pronounces it Louisville. Of course, she kind of runs it together a little bit faster than I do, but I'm a laid-back kind of guy. So,
All
I have
right,
these
30
relaxed
minutes to the last man standing.
The last?
Well, no, not last, but last without interruptions. Oh, we've still got this weekend.
Oh, the week. Okay.
Yeah, it's starting on October 6th. I go back on swing shift temporarily to help train some more quality control people on their own teams. So after next Thursday, well, starting next Thursday, whether or not last man standing happens depends on whether or not I'm on day shift, night shift, have day shift the next day, or what have you. And these will be 12-hour shifts, so I will definitely have to, on days that I am working the next day, but have that night off, it's not going to be a 2-hour show. I can't stay up till 1 o'clock and work till 7 o'clock the next night.
That's would actually be easier for me. That's one of the reasons I haven't been showing up on the show that much, is because it's just too late for me to do that and then get up the next day and do the stuff that I got to do.
Yeah.
Well, rather than run it early and whatever, but it's just going to be one of those things. If you see me on Stupid O'Clock, I may be able to do a last man standing, but it might actually be just 1 hour instead of 2. If you don't see me on Stupid O'Clock, don't look for last man standing because I'll be at work.
I see Rich has posted up one. I'm just going to go blow it out of the water. Joliet.
The
Yeah,
only reason I know that is from the Blues Brothers.
Joliet.
Joliet.
Joliet J.
Yeah, if you're actually from Joliet, it's Joliet. Everywhere else from the Chicagoland region, we call it Joliet.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the racetrack is.
Yep.
Or was.
Anybody want a quick sneak peek of something?
Sure.
All right, let me see if I can share it.
Don't crush that door. Give me the pliers.
Why did Yo Dog get a 30-day ban on Facebook? Something that Stephanie showed a sneak peek of.
Nope. Why is it not show? There we go.
Uh-oh.
Is that one of your?
That's.
Is that one of the Alpha Omega series?
It is a
Alpha.
spin-off. It's the first book in a spin-off series called Blood Brothers.
Ah.
Oh, this is.
This is the prequel.
Mhm.
This is the prequel that stars the Galactic President and the man that would eventually become Director Fox. And so you just saw them on the cover.
Cool.
So far, I am enjoying
Thank
Alpha
you.
and Omega.
Nope. Well, thank you. Good. I'm glad. So far, nobody else other than the artist, myself, and my writing protege has even seen that. Y'all just got a quick look.
Thank you.
That's cool.
All 10 of us. Yes.
Yes.
No, 11. 6 here and 5 in the audience when they showed the picture. So worldwide reach, though.
And
Whoever sees it on the
by
rerun.
that much.
Just a quick little glimpse. What would you say, Rich?
Said Carl missed it by that much.
Yep.
Sorry, I had to go Maxwell Smart there for a second.
Ah,
Gonna put the cone of silence over you, young man.
Pardon me, my shoe is ringing.
Mind, I have yet to finish the book. I'm working on it right now. I've got 3 books that I'm in the process of working on that are actual full-length novels. And
Man,
one of
that
them,
smell.
one of them is that book. One of them is the next Division 1 book. And one of them is the next Empire book for Rich Wyand.
Mm.
But this one, it's called Meetings. It's the first book in the Blood Brothers series. It's pretty much a straight narrative, and it's one that I've been planning for a couple years now, so I've got everything already planned out for it. The next Division 1 book picks up from basically a slaughter. So there's a lot of dead agents, a lot of maimed and injured agents, and I've got to figure all that out, what everybody does, as I ease back into the story. And then for the Empire book, it's a spy novel, and those are inherently not easy to write because there's so much planning, and you have to figure out, okay, who was where when, and when does this clue drop, and all this kind of stuff. Plus, the main character is doing it because her husband has just died, so that kind of adds a personal element in it to me, and I'm struggling with those two. But this one is kind of, at this point, I wouldn't say it's flowing, but it's coming easier than either of the other two because it's just a straight narrative. So I figure out what the next major talking point is, and then I go for it. So it looks like probably being the next book I put out.
Cool.
And
Looking
everybody
forward
just
to
got
it.
really quiet there, and I'm sorry if I absolutely.
No, we were listening intently.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
But Clayton missed your sneak peek, though, Stephanie. Can you
Nope.
sneak peek
Nope.
part 2?
Nope, that's all you got to
Oh,
see.
That's all you
man.
get. That's all
Nope.
you get.
You got to watch the
Clayton-
reruns.
Watch it on the
Unfortunately,
rerun
Block again.
at about 9:33.
And I'll run in and erase it real quick so they can't see it.
it's just
And
it
the
inspired me to do a Get Smart pastiche. So that's what I was scribbling down while you were.
Shades of Watergate, Batman.
Hey, Joe, when it
Yeah.
gets to the part where she shows the cover,
Yeah.
put the horse with the chicken in its mouth up there for like 15
Yeah.
seconds.
Oh, edit it? Yeah.
The sloth.
Ooh, that ain't easy to do.
That was seriously just a really quick little.
Yep.
You know,
World premiere. You saw it here first. Don't tell anybody.
I literally just got it today.
If you're watching on Facebook or StreamYard or Facebook, YouTube, thank you, Facebook or YouTube, you can just scroll back, and I mean it ain't that hard.
You'll miss whatever we say in the meantime, or catch up slowly later.
I have been fortunate in that I was nosing around. Of course, Daryl was my cover artist, and the style of the Division 1 series covers were his. He worked it all out. And so for the spin-off series, and my protege may wind up, I'm hoping he winds up with at least a short spin-off series of his own. I want to maintain the branding, so I want to maintain the style. Well, it turns out that one of my friends on Facebook does cover art. She was like, "Oh, I know what software Daryl used to do this, and then he used this, and he brought it all in together." And I'm like, "Do you think you can mimic it?" She says, "Oh yeah." I said, "All right." and so that was her first. That was her first cut. That was her first book cover in that style, and I think
I
she did
think
a great.
she nailed it.
Yeah, I think she did. So I'm really really pleased. That was one of that was as far as the publishing end of my world is concerned. That was one of my big fears, and I think I am in good hands now. So I now actually literally have 3 cover artists that I can use, depending on the book. So Tiffany Gray is the lady who did that cover art, and I think
Okay.
she did a fantastic job. So,
Oh, and Stephanie, don't worry about last night because it went completely off the rails. We went an hour and a half
oh
instead
wow,
of the hour.
uh huh,
Just because we had so many in there.
The
And
giggle snort meter broke.
yeah.
the I had just had my flu shot, and I was not feeling well.
Oh, that's fine.
So I just and I didn't find out about it. I didn't see the email until you pinged me,
Uh,
and I didn't even know anything about it until then. So I apologize, but yeah, I would not have made a good guess because I was not feeling at all well. I never react well to vaccinations,
yeah.
and so I was
Getting
feverish.
mine tomorrow.
Mm.
Felt like
I
somebody busted me in the mouth because I was having phantom toothaches and stuff, and you wouldn't have wanted me on the show.
But yeah, we broke KT
Oh,
Several times.
several
oh,
times.
what happened? Did she just lose it laughing?
Yeah. I
Oh,
mean, to
Yep.
the point. I mean, she was. And the problem is, once somebody starts the snort, they can't stop.
yes, the giggle snorts just kind of, yeah.
They're self-perpetuating.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe I did that. Oops, I just did it again. Ah, it was absolutely adorable. Well, the whole thing was. I was sitting back there watching it and just going, "This is going to be such a fun show." I mean, HallowCon is going to be such a fun show
Mm-hmm.
with all these folks there and more.
I lost full control.
You never had any that night.
Joe, KT and I are talking about doing some stuff, some interview type stuff with each other. If you've got something in particular you want me to do or a panel you want to be on, just stick me on it. If you want me I don't have any new science talks, but if you've got one that you want me to revisit or that I haven't done for the convention, say so, and I'll do it.
Okay. Well, actually, I found something. Of course, I don't know. It was YouTube, so there. But very possible. Chicks. What is it?
Chicxulub.
Chicxulub may have had
Ah, yes,
a
companion.
a companion.
Yeah, no. I've seen that, and basically, they don't even know if they think there's a structure that may be an impact structure on the floor of the Atlantic, but they don't even know that there's a structure there yet for sure.
Yeah.
And people are going all off on it.
Mm.
And no, you don't even need. Um, if you actually, do you want me to do the Chicxulub talk? Because I can do that.
Yeah.
And we can discuss that. You can ask me about it. But yeah, by the time you're done with a major impact event, the mega quakes that it sets off, the multiple mega tsunamis that it sets off, the underwater mega slides that then generate additional mega tsunamis, the worldwide wildfire, the heating up of the atmosphere to oven temperatures, And then a nuclear, quote unquote, nuclear winter followed by a warm up due to the vaporized rock that gets into the atmosphere, releasing all kinds of greenhouse gases. I mean, how many conditions are sufficient for a major extinction event? You know, it was a worldwide disaster nearly a dozen times over.
It's not like it needed a partner.
No, exactly, exactly. May there have been a partner? Sure, possibly. But it was a very large asteroid in its own right. It did not need any other help.
Yep, that Fred Astaire did not necessarily need Ginger Rogers at that event,
Yes, and
but
the KT boundary clay layer. Everybody's like, oh well, it was the Deccan traps. Well, no, because the clay layer is very distinct. And below the clay layer, dinosaurs. Above the clay layer, no dinosaurs. The clay layer occurs between trap eruptions in the rock strata. You can very clearly see that. Deccan traps was not part of it.
Hang on a minute. Let me read this. Okay. A venture capital firm funded by the CIA has officially placed its bets on bringing back extinct species like the woolly mammoth and the thylacine.
you want to bring back thylacines?
You were so busy wondering if you could, you didn't stop to think whether or not you should.
Hey, let me tell you, I want to see the woolly mammoth come back just so I can order that rack of ribs like Fred Flintstone did. Okay.
I'm
want
still
And my
trying
wife's
to
all about
figure
that
out why
Tasmanian
anybody
tiger.
needs a saber-toothed dog. Oh.
Well, I'm just going to quote my
CIA, that question's been answered. Thank you.
Well, the
Stephanie.
thylacine, not saber tooth, because the thylacine existed with man for a short period of time.
the
Actually, no, I
thylacine.
mean a short period of time. There's pictures
Well,
of them.
Yes.
according if you actually talk to some of the Native Americans, so did the woolly mammoth because the Cherokee recognized a picture of an elephant and called it by the appropriate name. Only they said that theirs had been furry, and that was when the Europeans were first contacting the Cherokee. So,
You know why you won't find any evidence of woolly mammoths after a certain time in the United States area, North America?
I'm afraid to ask.
Because we have grills. We have cookouts. Okay, that's just
That was that big slab on the side of Fred Flintstone's
Flintstone's
car
car,
that
I'm
tipped
telling
it
you.
over. Yeah, we all knew that.
Well,
Yeah,
Considering how
what
many
a
other
lot of
creatures
folks
we've
don't
wanted in
realize
their
is
extinction.
Meteor
quote-
Critter is just a barbecue grill.
Stephanie quoted a line from one of my movies. I'm going to quote another line. Faster, must go faster.
Yes. Same actor too.
Yeah.
Faster, must go faster.
Oh, did you also catch that scene where the T-Rex was in the mirror on the Jeep? What it said?
Objects
the
in the
mirror
mirror
said?
may be closer than they appear.
Yeah, and all you could see was his inside his mouth.
Oh,
Yes.
That'll put a spot on the front seat.
Hey, a T-Rex can't be all that bad if the first person it ate was a lawyer.
Well, true.
I need lawyers. Without them, I don't make any money.
It didn't eat the little boy. It didn't eat the paleontologist. It got the lawyer. Okay, that's
and you know what? That had to have not tasted good going down either. For many, many reasons besides the fact that he was a lawyer.
Yeah, he was sitting on the toilet. He actually had his pants down too. That was the best part.
Yep.
First you say it, then you
Crappy
do
way to go.
it.
Oh, that was
Just remember what Roger Daltrey. Just remember what Roger Daltrey said. I got your body right now on my mind, but I drunk myself blind to the sound of old T-Rex.
Oh.
You bet.
Oh, what was
Trying
the
to
thing?
remember the song title.
You know why they call them T-shirts?
Short
For the same reason. For the same reason they call them a Tyrannosaurus Rex. They have short arms.
Okay,
What are you doing?
okay,
Get him.
okay.
I'm remembering that.
Chris Walker, Lindsay wanted me to tell you that she is looking forward to seeing you at HallowCon.
I have a giant head and really small arms, and I don't think this plan was thought out very well.
Meet the Robinsons.
Hey, do you guys know why dinosaurs don't clap?
Because they're all dead.
Yeah.
I maintain that Barney the dinosaur is why the dinosaurs are extinct. They died of embarrassment.
Yep.
Do you know why dinosaurs never had hair? Because they couldn't reach up the comb it.
Well, they say it's very possible that chickens are actually the descendants of the T-Rex.
Have you ever seen a rooster in a farmyard?
Oh,
I
there's
wouldn't doubt it for a minute.
What about a goose? If there's any candidate on this planet for having been a velociraptor or a T-Rex, it's the goose.
Especially the Canadian
someone
ones.
nicknames
Yeah.
them the Cobra chicken.
Yeah, cobra chicken.
Swans are evil too. Swans are right bastards. I've been attacked by swans while swimming before.
I've been attacked by geese. They hurt.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's going to be another share of screen. If anything is a dino chicken, it's going to be this sucker.
I think I know what you're going to share because I think I've got the exact same picture.
A cassowary?
Ooh.
All you can eat at Chick-fil-A.
Tell me that's not a chicken descended from dinosaurs.
Got some big legs on him.
Yeah. Them suckers is ugly.
That's a chicken with elephantitis.
No, that's a particular breed of chicken. And those feet are considered a delicacy in the Orient.
Yes.
If you step into its yard, it's going to triceratops to get you. Sorry.
I'm trying to remember what there's some delicacy where they eat chicken feet. I can't remember if they were boiled in a soup or fried or what. All right, hang on a
Yeah.
second.
You know what? It's getting to be about that time, guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Getting close.
Here's my candidate for dinosaur right there.
Yeah.
It has teeth.
Tongue.
Teeth on the tongue. Yeah, that's ow.
There were sharks like that at one time.
Yeah.
Even
They were weird looking, but yeah, that puts that scarce as hen's teeth remark back in perspective, don't it?
It do.
talk about lick you to death.
Oh,
You never had a cat decide he wants to lick one spot on your arm repeatedly either, have you?
Yes.
I was just thinking that myself.
hey,
Nope.
there
I've
is
had an accident with a sander before. Where I think it's pretty close.
Donna's cat
Speaking
will.
of,
Yeah,
yes,
Donna's cat will walk up behind you and lick your calf, and you got no clue that he's even in the room.
It's got to be scary.
somebody heard me say cat.
Hello, Elron.
Meow.
All right.
Hello, kitty friend.
We are down to the wire.
Yep, I'm getting everything ready over here.
Mm-hmm. I think I've got everything ready over there.
I will come on for a few minutes, Dan, but I'm going to need to get off soon.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I got work tomorrow anyway, so.
Stephanie, we had to get on to Rich and tell him not to talk about a certain movie starring Bruce Willis.
Oh, okay. All right.
Especially when you're here.
I have a tendency to want to throw a brick through the screen when that particular movie comes up. So, yeah.
Now, I will say it's far-fetched, but I did like Space Cowboys.
Yeah, it is far-fetched. Interestingly enough, there were certain things that they actually did get right on that movie.
Yep.
I watched it because I'm a huge Tommy Lee Jones fan.
I thought the actors made that movie rather than the script.
Yeah. They did, however, on the emergency re-entry, they did get the bailout procedure correct. Because that's
tossed the unconscious astronauts out on the rail.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Because I've seen the procedure. So,
How do you practice for that?
very carefully with mock-ups of various sorts.
Yeah, no, they have a cargo plane that has that same setup.
Yeah,
in it.
yeah. Like I
I
said,
get it
mock-ups of various sorts.
Mock-ups of various sorts, and sometimes you land in the pool, right?
Yeah. You better hope you land in the water.
Especially if you're unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
That'll wake you up real quick.
You're in a spacesuit.
If memory serves, and it has been a while, but if memory serves, the oh, shut up, phone. The rod automatically deploys the chute. It's you don't deploy the rod until you have gotten below a certain altitude, and then the rod is actually curved so that it will
Throw you under the wings.
Throw you under the wing, so you don't go back and hit the wing.
And it's time.
It's time.
So we're going to say good night, everybody. Thanks, Rich. Thanks, Stephanie, for coming in. Thanks, John, for pushing the buttons. And thanks, Bill. I don't know what you did, but thank you anyway. All right. With that, we're going to sign out and say good night, everybody.
slipped the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter's silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds, and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, where never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God.
Good night, everybody!